Well, back on render to Caesar, the Herodians and the Pharisees thought they'd laid a watertight trap for Jesus. If he'd said, pay the taxes, the Pharisees would have gone to the chief priests and said he was a collaborator. If he'd said, don't pay the taxes, then the Herodians would go to Pilate saying he's a seditionist, he's a rebellion leader, and it seemed to be a hopeless situation. So here's the wisdom again revealed, and a great principle that we follow as Christians. The denarius, whose inscription, then those remarkable words that dumbfounded and amazed them. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God's what is God's. We are using Caesar's coin, then give to him what is due to him. He's built our roads, he keeps us secure. But then also give to God the things that are God's. He answers the Herodian, he answers the Pharisee. For the principle for our lives, we live in this world, and God has ordained authorities. They are under God. He gives them the sword, and they don't bear it in vain, and they lead and they guide and they protect. And police forces and courts, they're all under God's jurisdiction. And so we render to Caesar, to governments, the obedience that's due. Romans 13, obey those who are in authority. But let's not forget to give to God the things that are God's. He is supreme, and we look to Calvary and all that's been done for us there. He lived, he died, he rose again, and every human being is due to give to God what is due to him. A holy, godly life of submission, repentance towards God, and faith in Jesus Christ. Those rare times where there seems to be a conflict between what the law of the land asks us and what God asks, then we ought to obey God rather than men. We're in a tricky time at the moment where we're told not to meet in churches. Well, we ought to disobey that law under normal circumstances. But the law at the moment is a sensible and a reasonable law to halt the spread of a virus. And so we continue to submit to that law, applying spiritual common sense. But day by day, the greatest law is to obey God. But God has set governments in place, and we obey them. We pay our taxes. We render to Caesar or to Boris or to Donald what is due to them. But supremely, we render to God what is due to him. A life of humility and submission in the light of all that Christ has done for you and for me. God deserves our very hearts.